April 12, 1961. The world stood still. Just 108 minutes of flight changed everything. The Soviet Union launched the first person into space. For the US, it was a devastating blow. But behind this triumph lies a story of a decade-long secret war, incredible risk, and two completely different paths to the same goal. It's a story of how two superpowers raced to the stars, not knowing who would be the first. It all started before Gagarin. The first shock the West experienced was in 1957, when the Soviet Sputnik 1 was launched into orbit. It wasn't just a metal sphere, it was a symbol. The technological superiority of the USSR became a haunting specter for America. Brilliant, yet hidden minds were behind this breakthrough. In the USSR, it was Sergei Korolev, the chief designer, whose name was classified. In the US, it was Wernher von Braun, a former Nazi scientist given a chance for redemption. The US responded with the Mercury program. The approaches were like night and day. The Soviet Vostok was a simple and effective sphere. Korolev focused on rocket power and automation. The cosmonaut was more of a passenger who could take control in an emergency. The rescue system? Ejection at altitude and landing with their own parachute. The American Mercury was a cone crafted with precision. The astronaut was a pilot, an active participant in the flight. The landing was set to take place in the ocean. Both teams subjected their future space explorers to grueling tests, selecting only the most resilient. Spring 1961. Tension reached its peak. Both sides knew that a launch was imminent. The USSR chose Yuri Gagarin. His smile won over the selection committee. But there was also a backup, German Titov. In the US, Alan Shepard was set to be the first to fly. The dates were set. The USSR planned its launch for April 12th to 14th, while the US aimed for May 5th. It was a matter of hours, or perhaps even days. On the morning of April 12, 1961, Gagarin uttered his famous, "Let's go!" and launched into the unknown. He spent 108 minutes in orbit, during which he drank, ate, and took notes. However, the flight wasn't without emergencies. During re-entry, the module separation system failed, and the spacecraft tumbled uncontrollably until the connecting cables burned out. The landing didn't go as planned, but Gagarin survived. The first human to travel into space returned alive. In the USSR, a wave of national jubilation began. For America, it was a bitter lesson, but they didn't give up. Just 23 days later, on May 5th, Alan Shepard made a suborbital flight. In 1962, John Glenn repeated Gagarin's achievement. The defeat in the first round of the space race compelled the U.S. to throw all its resources toward a new goal. Just a few weeks after Gagarin's flight, President Kennedy issued a challenge. By the end of the decade, America must land on the moon. The race had reached a new level.